Yeah, that's really fantastic. Really good. The fun part about this, Betty, I can't believe I got you here. This is your first time
This is, and I'm loving
in
it.
California. Do you like it?
I love it.
I got to apologize. It was beautiful last week. And then today we were actually getting weather alerts because the fog was coming in.
Yeah, that's
So thick.
Yeah, it was the fog. I was really surprised. I was, because I was told, oh, you're going to get out there and the weather's going to be in the 70s. And I'm like, just bringing like all summer clothes. And then I get here and I'm like, okay, I didn't bring clothes for this.
Well, out there in Texas. In fact, no, you're not too far away where I live. We were pretty much neighbors.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, Tyler is probably, 30 minutes, 40 minutes?
Maybe about 30 minutes.
30 minutes from Wills Point. That's where I'm at, Wills Point. You've been there all your life too, huh?
No, not all my life.
No, not all your life? Okay.
No, I was born in Waco, and my grandparents helped raise me some, and they lived in a little town outside of Waco, China Springs. And back then, it was just like a lot of cotton fields, and there were only 2 little houses on the street that we lived on. You go out there today, and it's like totally different. It's changed. But yeah, just a little town. And then when my mother had me, I was in Mesquite. And so I got raised between Mesquite, Texas, which is up by Dallas, and China Springs.
Big family? Your sisters, brothers?
I actually have a half-brother and a half-sister. And then I found out that I was adopted. My adopted dad, my mother was my biological. And then when Ancestry.com came out, then I wanted to find my biological family. And I couldn't believe it. I actually found them. And so then ended up finding out there's 9 of us.
You're kidding me.
No.
Are you talking?
Oh, yeah, we do talk from time to time. I have a brother that lives in Arizona. Most of my siblings live in the New York area. And went down there, I guess it's 4 or 5 years ago now, and visited with them, stayed down there for about 2.5 weeks, and came back. And a few months later, went back again to celebrate Christmas with them. So I had a fantastic time up there in New York, just meeting everybody.
Oh, that is really, really cool. So I got to ask you, when you met them, did you see the resemblance?
It is.
Any like mannerisms or looks or appearance? I imagine maybe a little bit. I don't know. But
no, we were driving. My daughter and I were driving in Dallas, and we were in traffic, busy time of Dallas, 5:30 in the afternoon, and a picture was sent to me by my sister, and my daughter's telling me, you got to pull over, and I'm like, why? And she says, I can't tell you, you got to pull over. And so I pulled over, and I'm like, bad time, and she goes, look at this, and I'm looking at this picture, and I'm going, I don't ever remember making that picture. And she goes, it's not you, that's your sister. And I'm like, wow, we look so much alike, and all of us have similar features.
Yeah.
And so it was great.
Oh,
It was great. And then I got up there, and in one of my sister's houses, she had pieces of furniture that I actually had at one time. And we was talking about, I told you, I love old cars. And I was talking, and I said, I'd really love to have a Nomad, a 57 Nomad. She goes, no, because that's what I want. And we happened to pass by a house that had one, and I told her. She turned around, we went back. So when we got to talking and visiting, it was amazing how our similarities were. It was amazing.
That's incredible.
I loved it.
That's incredible. We've had conversation. You're obviously a client of Vision. I am really, in talking to you, I'm learning more and more about you. And my team said, Chris, you got to get Betty Wilson in here. And by the way, everybody, Betty's from Shepherd Security from Tyler, Texas. I want to give a shout out to Barron, your owner, Barron Riddle.
Yes, sir.
I heard you look like Kurt Russell.
He absolutely does.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
Yeah, and I tell people that, and whenever they meet up with him, they're like, you weren't kidding. He really does. Yeah, he does. They say you got a twin somewhere in the world. That's his.
Yeah. I actually have one.
I believe it.
I actually have a real twin.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I have
You're
a mirror
really
twin.
twins? Oh.
I'm right-handed. He's left-handed. We look a little different as we're older, but it was when we were younger. It was incredible. But Barron, I want to shout out. Thank you for letting Betty fly down here, and in talking to Betty, knowing Betty, outside of her huge heart, I don't know how it even fits in that chair. All right, you were really a worker, and I'm not just saying that for the podcast, Betty.
Oh, well, thank you.
I'm not saying that. The things that you do, the things I've heard from the team, my team drove me crazy saying, you got to contact Betty, man. You guys would really click. She's just done an incredible job with the company, your attitude. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. But okay. Shepherd Guard Services, Tyler, Texas, Barron Riddle, the owner. Tell me a little bit about your title and what you're doing for them now. In fact, let's just do this. Tell me how you got into the industry. 'Cause you got a long history. Last night we were talking, you were telling me how you support 150 horses. You saved 150 horses. You
did.
took 250 chairs across 28 different states to help people out. You've had COVID. You came very close.
I did. I came very close to losing my life. I was in the ICU for almost 2 months. And they told me that whenever I got out of there that I was really lucky. It scarred my lungs. They had me on all kinds of breathing machines. And it took me almost 2 months when I got out. Then I was still down for a good while. But I'm strong.
You were definitely strong.
I kicked it and got back up and got to running again.
What saved you, if you don't mind? I'm going to stick on the COVID. Were you vaccinated or not vaccinated?
No, I don't take the vaccinations like that.
Yep.
And there was a few people that I knew that did take the vaccine, and when they did, they ended up having heart problems.
Yep.
And I just, I'm really careful about things like that.
When you had it, I'm just curious, because when you're in the hospital, did it start as a cold, or did you know right away, hey, I have COVID? Did it hit your chest right away, or was it just kind of like a cold that just got bad?
I just really thought it was a cold, and I was just fighting it. And I just woke up one night, and I was just like, I just couldn't move. And I called my daughter, and she came to the house, called the ambulance, come pick me up. And the ambulance told me my O2 was down and put oxygen on me, started an IV on me, and got me to the emergency room. And they said that they were going to have to put me in ICU because I had COVID, a really bad case of it. And that's where I was from that point forward.
You are the strongest woman I can honestly say I know after this story. And if we had a bunch of time, wow. That's why she's sitting here. But I really want to get into your experience. That's why I brought you down, because you have a lot of experience in the industry. So if you can, tell me how you got into this wonderful industry called the guard business.
I was opening up businesses of my own, and I had 10 businesses of my own. One of them was the refuge horse. I had 150 horses that I refuged, and I put out that these horses needed pasture land, and I was looking for volunteers to volunteer their properties. And then I found a vet that endorsed the company and would help when those horses come to me. And then I started getting donations on hay and on feed to help the horses. We had a news article that was wrote from Eustis, Texas, a newspaper, which is out by Gun Barrel. You should know probably where that is, you know that area. And people were calling in saying that these horses were starving, and then the news company came out and started asking me what I was doing, and I explained to them that I'm a refuge. And I had 150 horses, and I just had them spread out through the area wherever I could get land to put them on, and took care of them. And once I got them up and found homes for them, and then I would deliver them. I'd have to go out and check to be sure that people that were taking the horses had adequate places for them and could take care of them.
Sure.
But that was just one of my businesses. And I was married to a man for 23 and a half years, and we went into a divorce, and the judge made me sell everything I had. And so we split everything, split our ways, and then I ran into a young lady, and she said, you would make a good security officer. You need to get into security. And I said, don't know much about it, but sit down, talk to her a little bit, did my test, got in there, and started became a security officer. And worked with the company. A guy read my resume and called me into the office. I thought I was in trouble. And he said, no, I was reading your resume. And he says that you wrote business plans and you had a lot of business experience. You had a lot of sales experience, and we need a salesperson. And so I got into doing sales for that company and moved from that company to where I'm with this company today. And Mr. Riddle he's been a wonderful boss and supports me. He trusts my judgment, and he'll just tell me whether he agrees with it or not, and he'll say, but I'm giving it up to you, and I'm going to let you run with it. And so I just took it from there.
That is fantastic. So what was your first job when you worked security? What did you do?
I was a security officer.
Okay, but where'd you work? You worked at a hospital, a commercial place?
No, I actually worked at a call center for internet.
Okay.
Is where I worked, and that was when I got a phone call to come to the office. I guess they had time to look at my references, and then I wasn't a security guard long. I was only a security guard for maybe a month.
Yeah.
And went right from there on into sales.
Yeah, so let's talk about sales, because You've been doing this for a while. Now, how long you been in the guard business? Let me ask you that question now.
About 30 years.
30 years. Okay.
Yeah.
Would you mind, tell us when you sold, how did you target? Did you cold call? Did you just get on the phone? Let's go back. I know how I did it. I'm just curious since you're here.
A little bit of both.
Okay.
I'd get the phone book out. We don't have phone books hardly these days, but back then we did. And I'd get the phone book out and start going through there and making phone calls, and if I get meetings set up with people to try to gain some clients. And then sometimes you just drive. You just drive and you just look for places. You go in, introduce yourself, give a business card, and find out who you need to be talking to, who handles your security accounts. And so that's what I started doing. I didn't know a whole lot about the security, but the more I got into it, the more I learned about it. Once you learn your product, that's it. That's all you need.
Now, did you hit apartments in the beginning? Where did you feel comfortable? Because it's so funny. By the way, you guys, the phone book is about that thick. It's a big book, had numbers. That's how we used to call people.
Exactly.
Right? With that rotary dial, then went to push button back in the day.
Yeah, and I got like cards and stuff and would write the people that I talked to, would write our conversations, and if they wanted me to check back with them, then I had an index that I would put them in there and check back with them on those dates, make phone calls. You wanted me to check back with you on this day? And then I would make an appointment and go and visit with them, and it really helped, just keeping everything organized in card boxes and then go back to them. And at that time, I focused on construction sites because construction sites have a lot of theft. And it's not just mainly from people coming out, but you'd be surprised at a lot of those workers that work for construction sites that go in and take the product. And but just moved from there and then got into the water parks. Ended up getting into water parks and starting from there, and then started getting into apartment complexes. Sometimes big buildings like bank buildings where they always have security or somebody at the front. I started working there. So I just started trying to figure out who uses security. Where do you go? And that's how I just started from there.
What was your favorite contract? Was it water parks? Was it apartments? What was some of the struggles? Which ones were your favorite contracts?
I really liked the construction sites because I had it set up where Monday through Friday was at night. So you just put one person out there. And then on the weekend, when they want 48 hours, I thought the best way to do this is to hire husband and wife teams and put husband and wife teams out, have them take a tent out there, a little barbecue grill, ice chest, stuff like that, and take turns watching the site. And the construction sites that I was doing was very impressed. And they started talking to other construction sites, and I started getting other construction sites calling me and wanting security, and the people that were doing it were loving it.
Okay, you got to explain that one. So you get a husband and wife team. So was this like a 24-hour contract or 16?
The contracts usually for construction sites can run anywhere from 6 months to a year and a half, depending on the size project that they're working on.
Okay, but 24/7, like a 3-shift thing, or just 8 hours?
Usually they have you come in like about 6 o'clock at night when construction ends.
Okay.
And you're there from 6 o'clock till they start coming in the next morning, 6, 7 o'clock. And then on the weekend, they're usually not at the sites on the weekend, but regardless whether they were or not, they wanted to start Saturday morning early, doing a 24-hour up until Monday morning.
Great, gotcha.
And at first I started just hiring people to come in and do that, and then I thought, why not do 24-hour? I started having husbands and wives calling me and asking me if I had shifts on the weekend. They had an RV or they would go out and take turns. And I thought, you know what, that's a great idea. And so I started doing it. And like I said, it took off. I had a lot of construction sites I was doing.
So they actually bring their RV in, husband.
RV or a tent.
Okay, this was a husband and wife team that actually had an RV that wanted. So they're out there enjoying themselves in the peace and quiet, staying in the RV and just taking turns walking the site and
exactly
enjoying the weekend and getting paid for it.
What a better way to enjoy life.
That's a great idea. What year was that?
Oh, my goodness.
Could you pull it off today?
Could I pull it off today? Probably.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah, I probably could. Yeah, because there are a lot of senior citizens that this day and time have to supplement their incomes. And what better way to do it? If you have an RV and you're wanting, and all you got to do is work on the weekend, you got the whole week to yourself.
You're very successful at sales and talking to people, so I want you to tell people why that is. What'd they like about you, Betty?
You got to like what you're doing.
Okay.
You got to like what you're doing. You have to love people. And I love people. And as I like to talk.
That's why you're here.
I love to talk. And I get excited. I get excited whenever I'm talking to people. Conversations come up. And I've been to a lot of places and met a lot of people, traveled a lot. I love it. And I think that's what makes me good at what I do.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem talking to a stranger.
No, I can tell you don't have any problem with that. And I think that that's a skill set.
Yeah.
It's a great skill set. And when people like you, what happens? They give you business, right?
Exactly.
They trust you. I think that's one of your, I pick up from you immediately. And that's what I think the industry lacks, right? Is that I'm going to call an emotional connection. You're making a connection with that person because the guard business is going to be the guard business.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that a little bit because I really want to get down to back in the day, you're walking in, you're building relationships with a client. And that's where the problems are. If you had a relationship, there's so many other things that, would be better for the industry, but everybody's so rushed in. They don't want to talk. They just want to email. They just want to look at the back of the proposal. You're just a number. And a lot of times that's true. But I really want to, if you can't share your experience and how you built those relationships, if you can. Obviously, like you said, you were super excited. You went in with a great attitude and you built a relationship with them. Whether it was a conversation, I'd have a conversation about the kids on the desk or whatever, children, or maybe a hobby or whatever they liked.
I usually, whenever I'm out there trying to find something, the first thing that I do, once I get hold of the right person to talk to, I just let them know who I am, what company I'm working for, why I'm there, and let them know that in order to do business, I love communication. And while I'm sitting there talking to them, I want them to be honest with me. I'm going to be honest with them. They may not like some of the things that I say, maybe something that they're doing that maybe I might not like, and I may tell them, have you thought about trying something different? And just give them my thoughts on it. And if you don't have communication while you're doing this, then you're not going to make it. Communication is what's going to make your business successful. If you're telling us that you want us to come do a job and we're out there doing it and they come up and they say that they're not up to what I'm doing, then, we talk about it. If there's something I need to change, then I do. But the majority of the time when I go in and I give my thoughts on it, and I also write post orders and I find out everything that they want me to do in that job. I sit down, I write post orders, I send it to them, and I ask them, please read over them, modify them. We'll go in, we'll change it, make it exactly the way you want it, and send it back to me. I make the changes, send it back to them. If they see something else, we change it again. Sometimes it takes 2 or 3 times to get it right. But once it's done, they sign off on it, and I put it in a book. And everyone that I hire to do the security, I sit down and I read it to them and be sure that they sign that they understand. Because if you don't sit down and read it to them and you leave it up to them, 99% of the time it's not going to get read. And I want to be sure that they understand why they're there. I don't play. My groups that I have, my officers that I have work for me, they know I don't play. I don't like drama. And if you're coming to work for me, you better leave it at the front door. Because if I find out, you're going to get a write-up. And the second write-up that you get, you're probably going to be showing the door because we're not here for that. I don't care what happened on your daily night. I don't care what happened between you and your wife or you and your husband. That has nothing to do with your job. I'm sorry you're having those problems. Focus on your job. This is where your paycheck's coming. So that's just where I am. Cell phones. We offer cell phones on our sites, and those are the cell phones that they're supposed to use to let me know when they're on their site. If emergency phone calls come in, they're to get the phone call on that phone, not their personal phone. If we find out they're using their phones on their sites, then we don't allow them to bring their phones to those sites. They have to stay in their car. So I run a tight shift, but I have a lot of people out there that knows that I'm very businesslike and I'm to the point, and that's just the way it is. I have to be to the point to keep a steady relationship with my employees as well as with my companies.
Yeah. So it is a very tough industry. Was that your work ethic and you shared that, Or was that right from the start? Or was that over time you said, hey, I can't be nice. These guys don't get it. The new Betty's coming in, and this is the way it's going to be. Did you just start that way?
No, I have been that way. I had to be that way when I had all my businesses because I had a lot of businesses, and I had to be that way I had to learn to be that way. I didn't like it, and you can get a bad name. People start talking about you. You have bad names because you're just that type of person. But then after they get to know me, they understand why I'm that way. I'm not there to be your friend. You want to be my friend off shift, but when you're working, we're not friends. We're working together, and we're building relationships. We're building companies, and playing around is not building it. I take this very seriously. Security officers can get into situations just like police officers can. If you're in there playing and you're not paying attention, you can get hurt just like they can get hurt. And I keep that in mind, and I want my officers to understand. You may not be a police officer, but you are doing the same thing that some security officers are hired to do. So pay attention, because when you're not paying attention, that could get you hurt.
Absolutely. You spend a lot of time with your operations teams too. And in fact, let me go back a little bit. So they say it's not what you say, it's how you say it. Do you believe in that one?
To a point. I'm one of these people that I don't beat around the bush. If I have something to say, I say it. And that's just the way I am.
You know why I ask you that?
My boss calls me the pit bull of Shepherd Guard Service.
Yeah, no, I'm learning something from you right now. You know why I say that, or why I said that? Because that's part of that tactical communication thing, right? I don't want to offend them. And I go, let me be nice, let me put it this way, right? But it took, here I'm over here losing my mind, and right in the beginning, I guess if I just would have been maybe more direct right up and say, hey, this is the way it is. It was always trying to feel like I had to accommodate everybody. I don't know if that was a childhood therapy thing that I needed or whatever. I don't know. But that worked for you.
It does. I found out a long time ago, whenever I first started opening up business, you can't be everybody's friend because they will run over you and they will take advantage of you. And I wasn't in there for that. I looked at it as if I want to be successful in what I do, I have to be that type of person. It's not that I'm not friends. Back when I had my businesses, I would show everybody appreciation. I would take maybe a trip, take them to Shreveport, get a hotel, let them have the weekend off, take them out to dinner once a month to show them my appreciation. It's not that I don't appreciate my people just because I'm like I am, I do. And I find ways to show them that I am who I am, but it's not that I don't appreciate you and what you're doing. You are the reason that my businesses are successful. But I have to be this way in order to be sure that I am successful. I hated it when I first started being that way. I felt like I was just this really terrible person. But as the years went on, I just learned that's just the way you have to be. So some people are like, you don't have to be rude and nasty about it. And I'm sorry you're taking it that way. I'm not trying to be rude and nasty. I'm just telling you the way it is. I get to the point.
Yeah, I love it. And I think that's why you're very successful with some of the hospital contracts that you have, because businesses like that don't have time to mess around. You're done.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, you're done. You don't have, and when you have a big staff at a hospital, you can't have 2, 3, 4 mistakes.
You got a lot of responsibility there. You've got care flights coming in, and you've got to be sure that those care flights are guarded. People aren't coming right up in there under those helicopters, or traffic's not coming in where they may have to be pulling stretchers across the road to get to the emergency room. And a lot of times they're in a hurry. They're running to get that person in there. And so we have to be focused on what we're doing. It's a lot involved. It's not just walking around and scanning buttons to show where they've been, that they're making their rounds. There's a lot involved. There's code blues, code greens, depends on what it is. And when those codes are called, those officers know that they stop everything that they're doing because they have to be there. Like I said, security, it's a lot more than just standing outside and watching a parking lot. You can get into where lives are dependent on you, to be sure paths are clear, and EMS has your full support, or the fire department has your full support of being on top of your job and keeping people back where they're supposed to be.
Outstanding. Your leadership. Do a great job with your leadership. How are you passing that down when Betty's not around? Do you have weekly syncs with your team? If you don't mind sharing with the listeners, what do you do to make sure from top to bottom? Because as you grow, right, can't be everywhere. How do you do that, or what steps are you taking to make
I
sure?
go in and I hire managers and supervisors, and I work with them and let them know what I'm expecting, what I want, how to do the job, and be sure that they understand. And then managers work with supervisors or their assistants, and because one person can't do it all. In some places, you've got to have. My hospitals, I usually have 2 or 3 supervisors, and I have one manager over each hospital. But they're trained. Everybody is trained through me on what is expected, and if there's something we're not doing, it comes to me, and then I immediately get on it to be sure that's being done. I don't wait. I'm immediately on it.
So you got the Betty Wilson 101, 102, 103, and you're doing the training.
I'm doing it.
Okay.
I'm doing it.
After you do that training with your, we'll call it your top managers, do you feel comfortable from them taking your training, and are you still pretty involved?
No, I'm involved.
Okay.
It's not that I don't trust them. If things happen, they know immediately to get on the phone and call me and let me know what's going on. Because if I get a phone call and I don't know about it, then I want to know why. They know immediately as soon as something happens that they're to call me and say, this is happening and this is where I'm going to be and I'm taking care of it this way. And if I don't like that way, I'm going to say, I don't want you doing it that way. I want you to do it this way. So I'm always involved. I'm always on top of it. And same thing with my officers. If I find out that they're doing something, then I call my managers and this person I just found out is doing this, and get on top of it and tell them that whatever it is that the situation is, how I want it handled, how I want things done.
Sure.
And that they can't do that, they need to do this. Yeah, I told you the other day, yesterday, I think it is, I get sometimes 250 or more phone calls a day.
Yeah, I was gonna say, hey, but tell them how many phone calls
Yeah.
you get. When I was joking with you, I'm 251, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what I'm there for. That's what I get paid to do. And when I go to bed at night, my phone is on charger right there on my pillow. I'm 24/7, 365 days a year.
Vision InSites is the simplest, most powerful security guard management software. No long training, no complicated systems. Guards can start reporting in minutes. Train your teams with micro trainings, attaching video to individual checkpoints to walk them through sensitive procedures. Submit accurate reports every time with dynamic observations that automatically rewrite, categorize, and prioritize, removing human error. And grow your business with daily, monthly, and quarterly insights, the most advanced reports available today. Vision InSites, the simplest, most powerful way to report.
All right, so I want to ask you something. I got something deep I want to ask you. I don't want you to take any offense to this.
No,
but
you're fine.
I worry about you. I worry about you because you're going.
Right.
All right. So how many employees are you dealing with right now at this company?
Oh,
I know it goes up and down, but just a ballpark.
yeah.
What do you guys?
You got to realize Mr. Riddle he actually has the whole company, but he also has sites of his own. And his partner, Ricky White, has sites of his own.
Okay.
And he's got a couple of more partners. And I'm not really sure what all their sites are.
Gotcha.
I know we do work down in West Texas with electrical companies and stuff like that. And sometimes our guards are going down there and they're staying a month to 6 weeks and come home for a couple of weeks and they go back. But just the employees that I deal with by myself, I want to say maybe 100,
Okay.
maybe a little less, but I'd say that's pretty close.
Yeah. How many other Bettys does he have?
No, he only has one Betty.
He only has one Betty. I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah, God broke the mode when he made me.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. Yeah. I'd love to grab some of your DNA, but I don't want to start over and wait. Yeah. But it sounds like you were successful right from the very, very beginning. No question.
No,
Baron's-
I wasn't successful from the beginning. I was a normal teenager, started
Yeah.
off working at a Dairy Queen when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
You work your way up. You
Yeah.
got to figure out what it is in life. And I wouldn't be where I'm at today if it wasn't for God. I'm going to tell you that right now because I really think God pulled me in this direction and he's molded me into the person that I am today. Because I didn't start off this way.
Yeah, we talked about it last night. You've been through. You've been through it, Betty. The stuff that you talked about last night, some of it was just heart wrenching. You are a strong woman, no question, really strong. And the faith, obviously, you have it. I don't know how you do it. I really don't. You've been through some hard times, and then you're hardworking. And one thing I can say is congratulations, Baron, for being smart enough to realize who walked in the door. You're a big gift. Eagles, I always say, are on high cliffs, and you were definitely an eagle.
Yeah, I love my boss. My boss is awesome, and he's super. He's one of probably, out of a lot of people I've worked for, probably one of my best bosses that I've ever had. And he's very good to me. He shows me appreciation, and that he does appreciate me and appreciate what I do. Sometimes we don't always agree on things, but
He loves that.
he loves it. He does. He
How did
loves
I
it.
know that?
But he's just that way. We have a good relationship, a working relationship. And a lot of times, even though he doesn't agree, he'll say, "This is what I would do, but I'm going to leave it up to you. You do what you want. And if you fail, then I'm going to come back at you." And he would come back at me.
Yeah, but it's a lesson. And
It is.
if for him to do that, it's terrific. It says a lot about
But
him
it's-
as a leader himself.
Yeah, it's a lesson for me, because just because I think my way is the best doesn't mean it's always going to be that way. I'm going to make mistakes. I'm human.
Sure. Who takes the hit, though? Does he take the hit and then talk to you? Or does he
No,
pipe it down?
if I'm in the wrong and I do something wrong, I'm going to take it.
Well, that's you. I know you're going to go, it's my fault. I get it.
Exactly.
But he would cover you, though, right? He would,
Well,
if he
he's
had
always
to.
got my back.
Yeah, see, there you go. And that's a big
Yeah.
part about being a leader, too, is that a lot of people are afraid to make decisions in the field, afraid to talk to the boss and tell the truth. As an owner myself, I was faced with that when I had employees. They didn't want, how is everything? Fine, fine. No, I would love for somebody to step up and go, "Chris, I didn't like this, and I don't think we should do it that way. They're out in the field. They're doing the work. I want to hear from you. Please,
Right.
yeah, take it, run." But if it came down to them failing for that second, I would say, "It's okay. I'll take that. I'll tell the client it's my fault. I told you it was a lesson we both learned from. I'm not going to throw it on you." And a lot of owners, you guys got to be careful when you have managers out there. "Oh, I got to get rid of that guy. He's not a good." Don't blame your people. That just makes you look horrible. So take that in consideration. Am I wrong?
No, you're right. You're right.
Employees are going to be employees. The gene pool is the gene pool. So if I was going to start a security company today, give me the Betty Wilson wisdom. What would you tell them? Just right off the cuff, what would you say? "Hey, Betty, I want to get involved in a security company." What would you tell them?
I would say, if that's what your dream is and you feel like that's what you want to go for, the only way you're going to know is get in there and try it. And if you're successful, it was absolutely meant for you. And if you're not, then you'll be led into something else.
Yep.
But your heart sometimes tells you and leads you in the right direction. And if law enforcement is what you like and that's what you want to do, then I say go for it.
Very
I
good.
say go for it, because there are good careers. There are really good careers in this job. And a lot of benefits. I like it because you can travel with it. I travel a lot, and we do have our guards. Like I said, we have guards going out to West Texas, and we have had worked up in around Arkansas, and I used to have to drive there because we had some banks up there that we used to do, and some other things that we had up there. And it's hard when you're not from there to hire people, so you just have to send people that direction and be sure that they get there until you can find people that you can put in that area. But if you work with your teams, is always going to work with you. If they like what they're doing, they're not going to mind traveling.
Have you found, or do you know, what your retention's? You're pretty proud of your retention as far as the company, keeping employees where you don't feel like you're constantly training over and over again?
We're just like any other company. You're going to get good ones, you're going to get bad ones, you're going to have to replace them, but eventually you get stabled out. And the next contract you get, you're going to go through the same thing. You're going to hire your people, and you're going to have some good ones, you're going to have some bad ones.
Why do employees stay? What's your thought? Explain to them, why do employees stay? How do you keep an employee?
Because the companies do them. They like what they're doing, and they're learning a new career. A lot of them are learning a new career, or they've worked for a company that didn't do them right and didn't respect them. And when your company respects you and you're being done right, you're going to keep them. You're going to keep them. Honesty, a lot of employees appreciate that honesty. And Mr. Riddle is a big part of keeping those employees and keeping them happy. And believe me, he shows his appreciation. We have Employee of the Month that we do, and then we give them money for being a good Employee of the Month, and we show the employees appreciation by giving big dinners. And that was part of we were talking about Shep's earlier, and Shep's doing catering for President Bush at Crockett, and he does our food for us as well. And we do Christmas parties for our businesses, Thanksgiving, stuff like that. We do dinners. We do dinners throughout the year to show them our appreciation. And I don't know a lot of companies that will do that. But Mr. Riddle's really good. He'll just say, just tell me what you want, tell me when you're doing it. And a lot of times he tries to be there if he can be there and show up for those dinners as well.
Sure.
He wants to be a part of it, and he wants people to know that he's there. And sometimes if they have something to talk about, they may not have it other than that day. And then you can talk about issues, problems, how things are going, and that's where you make things better. If you know what they want and we're not doing it, they want to add something, then we do it. It's just part of that communication.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So a lot of open doors.
Right.
No, that is great. Tell me a little bit about let's talk about your contracts. You guys are really getting, it seems like a lot, you're doing a really good job. Obviously, you're doing a good job if you're getting into hospitals. You're finding that's a lot of work right now.
It is a lot of work. It's not, construction sites are easy to put together. Water parks are easy to put together. Putting people in bank buildings and places like that is easy to put together, but there's a lot more involved in putting hospitals together. And to be honest about it, my first hospital, I was just blown out of the wind at how much really needed to be done that wasn't being done. And even though we've been there for a while, they're going to always come back with something new for us. And that's okay. That's okay.
I set up Valley Health in Virginia. I had 5 hospitals. I actually went out for a client. I helped them set up the software, the reporting solution. So I got really heavily involved into the hospitals. I did not have a bunch of hospitals when I ran my company, but I was familiar with them and what their needs were because of the client base that I had and working with them. And then obviously some of the experience. But when I actually got to go into the hospital and talk to the security director, the main guy too, and we went through all the protocols, right, from the nursing station to the ER rooms, to the helicopter pad, to the flag that must come down and be folded properly. Oh my God, don't miss those times. Everybody's watching you. To the 5150 ward, babysitting the crooks and the criminals and the escorts, to people that pass, to go down to the mortuary, to the flower shop and the cashier having to leave the flower shop, right, to the visiting room. A number of things. And other people within the hospital, the nurses station, got to take care of them. Right. Hey, it's a food run. Can you go pick up our food or whatever it may be? There's so many things. And then really critical is the codes, the stolen babies. That was a big thing in hospitals, right, when babies were getting kidnapped.
It's still happening.
Is it really?
Oh, yes. We had an alert last year, I believe it was, and had to put an alert out. And we actually had to watch that area really close. It was a big scare to us, which that was a new one to me. Like I said, you're going to always run into something new, but it's still going on today.
Man, can you imagine? I know you can imagine, but a mother just having a baby, and they go, okay, let me take your baby, and you just relax. And you're, yeah, let me tattoo my baby right now, make sure it's my baby is coming back. Or was it nurses that were doing it? Was it people on the outside that were getting into the pre, you got pre, I can't even say the term.
It's people from the outside more than it is from the inside. Okay. That is, you get women that maybe they've tried so many fertility drugs to have a baby, and they want one so bad that they're going to do anything that they can to get in there to try to take a baby, whether it's theirs or not. And they find anybody can walk into a place and buy scrubs, and they just find out what kind of scrubs you're wearing and walk in and buy those scrubs, and they're just walking around all over the hospital. But what you got to look for is you got to look for the hospital name tag saying that it is that hospital. And if you see somebody that's not got that name tag on, then that's a suspect. You need to watch that person.
That's a big deal for them at tags.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Wow.
So it does happen. There's just a lot.
So when do you think a security company is eligible to even consider talking to a representative or even going to submit a bid for a hospital? Because a lot of guys don't realize it takes some work. They're going to look at your history. It's not necessarily Securitas, Allied, Barton, all the bigger players. Some of them do because of that. And I think hospitals look at them because they are bigger and they've got the financial backing to support employees, and they assume that they're better than the smaller ones, but in reality, they're really no different, in my opinion.
Right.
And I know different regions. There's only one company that I'm really super impressed with, and I'm going to give them a shout out, I always do, and that is Sun State Security. They're incredible. They're
Awesome.
top to bottom management team. Just never met a company like them before.
Yeah.
And they're incredible. But anyhow, if I'm a new security operator, when should I consider, what do you think how far do I have to be set up in the year phase of running a business before I should even knock on the door of a hospital?
I think that smaller businesses have more of a potential to learn what that hospital needs because you're not working with you're not working with a large group of officers. You're hiring them, you're bringing them in, and you're training them. And I think the smaller security companies can do a better job, I think, for the hospitals. Not saying that bigger security companies can do it. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that it's just a lot easier because a smaller company is going to be easier to talk to, easier to get a hold of, and the directors and managers are going to be easier to contact because I can't tell you how many times I've tried to call out to security companies to talk to somebody up high, and I was told that we don't know who that is. That just blows my mind. And like I said, I'm not talking bad about them. I just think that if you're wanting good support and you're wanting something that you're not already getting, then maybe you need to look at a smaller company.
Thank you for saying that, because that's totally my belief too, because that's where it's going. They're just like, hey, these guys care about the contract. They know it. They're right there in the city or whatever it is. More personal to have somebody like you there where they want one point of contact, right?
Exactly.
One point of contact. They don't want to chase down 2 or 3 people, wait for an email, wait for a call, whatever it may be. They want to be able to pick up the phone when they have a problem, get somebody in the end and go, okay, Betty's going to take it for here, for example, and she'll get back to me. And I know when she's going to get back to me, and we're going to get the problem resolved.
A lot of times if I'm having a problem there, I don't have 24 hours. I want to take care of the problem now. And that's why my phone is just always with me because whatever the problem is, I don't care where it is. I don't care where you are. I don't care what it is. You need to pick up that phone. You need to call me.
Yeah.
Because we need to deal with it now. We don't need to deal with it 24 hours later. We're there to do a job, and if they have something they want to be dealt with and they're getting a hold of me to get it done or getting a hold of my manager because they want it done, then let's get it done. You got to be on top of it because when they see that you're working and you're on top of it and they can make a phone call and they know they're going to get it done right then, not next week, then that makes you look even better.
Yeah. So it leads into, let's talk about what tools you're currently using right now. And what'd you guys start with when you guys, because you were like me, it was paper and pen back then, right?
It was paper and pen.
Walk me through that process. Tell that history for people.
Oh, yeah. I'm old school. I love paper and pen.
Yeah.
I love it because then I can go back and I can look at my notes.
Right.
Now I have to have a notepad on my phone to go back and take down notes and see what I have going on.
Yeah.
I do carry a calendar in my car. It's always with me. But yeah, today it's a lot better because now I want to bring up Vision InSites, okay? Because Vision InSites is an awesome company. They're on our computers, our managers are trained, our supervisors are trained, and guards are trained on how to use those phones for tracking devices and how to put things into those phones where everything goes to the main computer and it's sent out to corporate people in the hospitals, our office at Shepherd Guard Service, myself, my supervised managers, we all get it. We're all notified, even if it's an incident report, it doesn't matter what it is. That's an awesome tool. And that takes care of a lot of things that we have going on right there, from DARs to incident reports, being sure that they're put into the system. So I love that versus if you're writing it down on a piece of paper, it's not going to always get to where it needs to go.
Sure. And obviously you were a Silver Truck customer of mine back in the day before I sold in 2019. I know it started one, but that didn't become the best experience towards the end there.
Yeah. We were having some problems with the Silver Track, and emailing is okay. It's okay to a point, but when you're calling someone and you're saying we're having a problem with this system and I need someone to help us get it fixed, and they're saying, okay, the next thing you know, you're getting an email saying, please tell us the problem so we can tell you how to fix it. No, I'm sorry. That's not very professional. That's not business. I want to talk to a person on the phone. I want that person to hear what I'm having. I want them to be able to get into my computer and see what I'm doing and tell me how to fix the problem. fixing the problem by email. That's not going to work.
No, we tried to have those conversations, and I just posted something on LinkedIn about you don't know who you guys are messing with. A lot of these are military, former police officers. You can't look at yourself as the 800-pound gorilla and say, yeah, where else are they going to go? Or let's lock them into a one-year contract and think that the email is going to work. The business is 24 hours.
24
right?
hours, 7 days a week, 365 days a year.
When the guard has an issue, please help them. Pick up the phone, whatever it is, or return my call so we can get the issue resolved because the client.
Oh, we would
Needs to
go
be.
working with SilverTrack. We went one time a whole month, and I was making phone calls, and my manager was making phone calls, and we weren't getting any response.
A whole month.
A whole month. And the managers, I keep calling them like I've called them too, and I've left messages. And finally, I just called and said, I need to speak to whoever the director of this company is because I've been trying to call now for a whole month. My supervisor, manager's been trying to call them. We're not getting any response at all. And I need to talk to somebody today, not tomorrow. I've already waited a month. That's too long. Today. And then, of course, like I said, you get that phone call, and they're like, we'll have somebody call you. Somebody calls and says, what's your email? And I'm like, why? We're going to email you and get you to tell us the problem. Then we're going to email you back and tell you how to fix it. No, I'm sorry. That doesn't work for me.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Betty. As everybody knows, I sold in 2019, and everything definitely changed. I tried to share that. I did share that thought process with them. 80-85% of the market, small to mid-level. You guys can't force them into a bigger product until they're ready, and you can't force them in a product that's going to be confusing for them because people change out. You don't have a full-time tech person that can learn something that's going to be a career-oriented. It's got a 401k and medical and dental. It's going to be with you the rest of your life to a go-to person. A lot of times you're switching. It's got to be very user-friendly. The software has to work, and that message was hard to deliver. They're going to say otherwise, but they would have kept a lot of SilverTrack customers if they just would have picked up the phone, and that's what I did. That's why we were successful. My team, my family, I'll call them a team, that was my family.
Right.
I bottle fed everybody, and a lot of everybody had industry experience. We were there for them. We could pick up the phone and talk, and it wasn't just about software. But I'm glad you're over at Vision. Can you tell me some of the difference as far as the support? I'm sure you like the support.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. My plan ops that sign my contracts, they're loving it. I get feedback from that. My managers love it. I get automatic emails constantly letting me know what's going on up there. DARs are being seen. We've got photos on it now. We've got locations printed on there now for lights out and stuff like that. A lot of people want light out reports. But everything that I was looking for that I wasn't getting with SilverTrack, I'm actually getting that and more from Vision. Vision has upgraded their standards on everything by taking away from now you've left SilverTrack, now you're over here because you're trying to take your customers back because they didn't do what they're supposed to be doing. Okay, which was y'all did awesome by doing that. And I hope a whole lot more people find you that haven't found you because I was excited whenever y'all called and I'm like, what in the world happened? Let me tell you, I just went on and on about the experience. It was really bad.
Yeah, there's a lot of people like you, and I was getting phone calls and the whole bit. And Arthur Williams, who I've known, he's our CEO for Vision InSites. He's done a really good job with that vision. I've known Art way back, and so he's taken that role, and he's doing a terrific job. I brought my other family over, Thomas Johnson and Curtis Sarnecki, and we got Jacob Tofolio and Grant Lipsky. It all goes down, and we're all coming back, and it's a lot of fun because they care about the business just as much as I do, and we all love getting up in the morning and providing that service to you guys and having those conversations again because that's what it's really about. The software, yeah, I love the software. Do you like the look?
I do.
You like the report looks? Isn't that kind of cool?
I love it.
Yeah, I got to give Art and Alex credit on that. We're all Apple fans, but Arthur did a really good job on coming up with that sleek design as far as the Apple look, right? It's black and cool, and we could change the screen. So he's doing a good job.
I tell you, I really hope that y'all are getting the word out with Vision InSight because if they ever get with you and they try it, they're going to stay with it.
Yeah.
They're going to stay with it.
Yeah, it's game-changing with the AI because you understand that's 30-year database into the AI. This isn't just a tool, and I wasn't going to get back into something I didn't want to get back into something that was the same, of course. And luckily, I had the relationships with the Silver Truck pre-sell. So I didn't feel too bad because I wasn't an absent owner. I knew people and I had friendships and everybody knew what happened. But yeah, it's game changing, and wait till the new year, January 26th. And we're going to talk a little bit about this after the podcast. I can't wait to show some of that. And thank you for being a customer, and thank you for saying the nice things you did. This wasn't intentional, you guys, to throw a commercial out for Vision InSites. It is what it is, and I do recommend you can go into my LinkedIn profile, find. We're here to help you. That's who we are. All right, and we're forming some pretty cool partnerships right now with other people that are doing really good scheduling formats. And I think you saw a demo.
I
did.
You
didn't think you were right here. You saw the demo, obviously. The payroll and scheduling solutions we're going to be partnering with because they're like-minded. It's kind of like building a car because you love cars,
person,
right?
Yeah.
So you got your Nomad, and then I got my tire guy over here. All right, I'm not a big car guy, so I'm going to say stupid stuff right now.
No,
but
you're fine.
There's the car, and then you got your mechanic, a pro mechanic, right? And then you got your interior design, right? And we're going to put this Nomad together, right? Everybody has their own little separate rooms, but most important is the support and the commitment and the caring, and that's what we are. And we do, believe it or not. And it's not about just taking a subscription. We do care about the customers. We want to make sure we pick the right customers as well, because the last thing we want to do is have you go in the door talking about our product, showing our product in a professional way, which we want, versus having somebody that's unlicensed, doesn't have the workers' comp, to go pay a monthly subscription fee and walk in and say, look what I have, but there's no performance, no backing. It gives, believe it or not, it gives Vision InSites a bad name. And I already experienced that through SoberTrack. So I'm very careful. We are very careful on who we talk to as well. So it's just not a...
I'm just going to say that it was 1,000% better.
Yeah.
1,000% better. You have really come a long ways with this, and you've done a fantastic job.
Yeah, I think a nice B12 shot, huh? Doesn't it? Yeah, not having to edit reports. You got training stuff. And you know why? Because I was in the industry for 30 years. We and groups, especially my background, I was the originator of real-time reporting in the first place. I started it because I was in the field. I knew everybody's pain. What a better way? I didn't put this in a napkin, go to Pakistan and say, write me something.
It goes back to knowing.
And by the way, they don't answer their phone either.
It goes back to knowing your product.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the more when your product, you're always going to learn more, and you're always going to better yourself. It's always going to get better.
Yeah. And by the way, we're not going to be a bot system. Okay.
No.
We're people. Even though it's AI, it's very advanced, of course, but the basics is we pick up the phone, we'll talk anything with you. Doesn't have to be software. Want to talk about cars? We'll talk about cars. Patrol cars, tell you which ones not to get and why they crash. We can do all that, but it's a lot of fun. Betty, we can sit here all day, and we're still going to talk after this.
Awesome.
But I'm going to call Barron and thank him. Barron Riddle, again, from Shepherd Guard Service from Tyler, Texas. If you guys want a good company, you know who's connected. You can only imagine what Barron's doing if he hires people like Betty. And I love what you said about your team, your staff, and your leadership and how you do things. It's old school, but it's true, and it's working.
It does.
Okay.
It does.
So the gene pool's probably pretty good.
I just go with what works for me.
Yeah, you're
and
doing
it
a great
does
job.
work.
Just do me one big favor.
What's that? Not be ugly to people?
No, seriously. Would you take care of yourself?
Of course. I have to take care of me to keep going.
I want you to keep going. I really do.
Yeah.
And this friendship is going to definitely continue, and we are
Awesome.
definitely going to be talking. You're a resource of information, and I love everything about you, but I want you to
thank
be
you.
careful too at the same time as your friend, because I know you're hard charging and you're going. Okay.
I'm a very hyper person. And the more I have going, the better I am.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm the same way. I'm really bad. And I'm on 2 cups of coffee right now. You got to see me on 3. Yeah, I know. I love getting up in the morning.
Yeah.
I love this job. I love this podcasting. I love the engineering. We got Danny and Steve and the group. It's a lot of fun, and my team, of course. But again, appreciate all the wonderful comments. And I got to get you back here.
I want to come back. I was very excited about this trip. Barron knew I was excited about it, and I think he's just ready to get rid of me and ship me off for a while.
You know what? He says she deserves this. I'm going to go get some sun from California and give her a couple days off. And look at you. You did wonderful. Look, I think this is great. Did you enjoy it?
I love it. I love it. I have had a really good trip. And it's just been great.
That's
And I
great.
do want to come back.
Yeah.
Maybe next time I come back, it'll be actually warmer.
Yeah. I'll have to set the schedule better for you. But what do you think of the studio?
I love it.
Yeah?
I love
cool.
it. This is awesome.
Yeah. Fun.
It is
Look.
fun.
Just sharing.
I just had no idea what. I always watch podcasts and stuff, and I'm like, I just love to do that one day. I would just love to just sit down and just talk. I like to talk. And when you said something about podcasts, I'm like, podcasts? Oh, wow.
Yeah. I was
You're like,
thrilled.
well, come down and let's do one. I'm all for that.
I was thrilled. Now you get to go home. You've got a big TV and click it on YouTube and watch yourself over and over again.
Yeah, really. Fantastic job.
I appreciate it. We just love, this is more fun than anything. I just love doing this part, so it's really
Well,
cool.
that's the best job you can have is have fun. You got to have fun. You can't just be out there and not have any fun.
That's right.
Even
Tell
though
'em.
I'm serious, I am a serious person with everything that I do, but I believe in having fun, and I believe in laughing and cutting up and telling my little jokes, and
Yep,
but it's what helps make things run a little smoother. you know.
absolutely. Okay, Betty, look in the camera right there and tell them, have fun. Run this business, have fun.
Everybody have fun because life is too short not to have fun. If you love your job, then you just got to focus on it, communicate, and you would just do wonders. Be surprised to where life will take you. Life will take you a long way.
Thank you for sharing that. And you guys, there's a valuable lesson right there. A lot of information. And if you want to call Betty, you can be 252 on the phone dial if you want. Maybe 253, depending when you call. She's got it right near her pillow, but I don't know if you can get that number, but she's always available. You can DM me if you want to know more or talk to Betty sometime. Again, wealth of knowledge. She obviously
If I
is
don't
always
answer
willing.
the phone, it's because I'm on the phone with somebody else, but I'm just returning them as I get off the phone.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. Hardworking. Again, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
You're
Thank
coming
you for
back.
having me.
Coming
I
back.
hope so. I definitely want to come back.
Okay. Well, you be safe. And I want to come meet Barron and your team someday.
Oh, we need to definitely do that. Yeah.
Definitely do that.
Yes.
Okay, Betty Wilson. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. I appreciate you.
Comment, like, share, and subscribe.